Hi guys, hello everyone in the chat. This is a review, excuse me, of Arsenal's victory against Chelsea. Yeah, hopefully we can get the links in the description if you want to come on and have your say. But yeah, I've got Claude and KJ here with me. Again, how are you guys?
Yeah, great win on Saturday. Rode our luck a bit, I think. Chelsea losing them key players did play to our advantage as well, because I thought up until the drinks break, we were under the cosh a bit, and Pulis was playing really well and looking as if he could do a lot of damage. But the injury to him and the sending off did play in our hands a bit. I'm going to take that because I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain when it goes against us when the referees, and I'm not going to go complain when it goes for us. But I thought Anthony Taylor had an absolute shocker on Saturday, and it played in our hands a bit. But I'm going to say I'm going to enjoy the cup victory because we need something after a season like that. I'm sure Chelsea will enjoy being in the Champions League next season as well. So I think both teams can look on the season with a little bit of satisfaction. I think Chelsea being in the Champions League next season and us getting a trophy when really on the season that we've had is a bit of a bonus, really, to be honest with you.
So, Prime, what's your thoughts?
On the game itself, first 20 minutes, Chelsea, we looked good. We scored early on, obviously, and injuries to Pulisic, doesn't help. Frank got it wrong at moments in the game tactically. I don't know whether you want to call it being outsmarted by Arteta or just getting it wrong on the day. People can blame some of the refereeing decisions, which I think it's unfair to do because refs make mistakes in games, but that's not the reason why you win or the reason why you lose. We had some chances to extend the lead to make it 2-0. We had the chance when it was 1-1 to make it 2-1. Didn't take them. Arsenal deserved winners.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think about the ref? Do you think there's a case about the referee?
Oh, it's the same thing as for me. I'm going to give the same thing I said when Arsenal fans or some Arsenal fans were complaining about the tackle at Mopé and Leno, and when they were complaining about the goal that Vardy scored where Jose Perez apparently interfered. My thing is those little nuances in the game or problems in the game by the ref. It's not the reason why you win a game or you lose. Exactly. we had the chances and stuff to win, and okay, fine. Injuries doesn't help. Frank if Pulisic doesn't get injured, we still have that threat with Arsenal on the counter, and who knows? Maybe we end up winning the game. Maybe we don't end up winning the game. Who knows? But it doesn't help. But it's not. You can't blame refereeing decisions. It's because you could say arguably Frank made as many mistakes as the ref did in the game. So.
I think you can tell by his interview that he cocked it up.
That's true. And the ref wasn't good at all, but it is what it is. It's not.
It's time for the refereeing these days.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to now be good enough to override those mistakes that are going to be made.
Exactly. It's the same when we played you guys earlier in the season. We won 2-1, and people said Jorginho could arguably have been sent off. But in that game, David Luiz, or is it Guendouzi, could arguably have been sent off as well. And that's not the reason why Chelsea won and Arsenal lost.
Well, it's like when we played you at Stamford Bridge. When we played you at Stamford Bridge, the actual rules of the game stated that actually David Luiz shouldn't have been sent it off. He should have got a booking. But he would.
Yeah, I know, but that's like my point I'm saying. It's those things or those mistakes that ref makes or whatever, it's not the reason as to why you win or lose a game. And I've been looking on Twitter and it's been embarrassing that Chelsea fans are using that as an excuse and creating petitions. I don't like
It's
that.
it's been beautiful, fam. I'm loving the tears. The salt tastes fantastic, fam.
Okay.
Of course.
Just make sure you win Europa League, KJ.
Hey man, whatever smoke comes our way, if we fail to win Europa League, comes our way, and I will be here smiling at all the jokes that people have for us, man.
It's one of those. If you can take if you can give the banter, you got to take it.
Of course.
Sure.
Talking about your
where's this guy that was on my live stream last time? Right, he hasn't come into the chat yet.
Scared.
Right. Yeah, he said he was going to be here.
No way. Too scared.
But what about you, Mr. Fury? How would you sum it up?
At first, when watching it, when goal down, I was like, wow. We don't have no composure. But the way we bounced back and ran strong, I was very impressed. We played very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve.
Igor, how are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm still buzzing a bit.
Yeah, guys. KJ, everybody, what's going on? I just wanted
What's
to
up,
say,
man?
thanks for having me on, bro. You're doing a wonderful thing, raising awareness. Big up to you for that, and respect to you for your channel. But yo, Arsenal guys, I know you guys, rival fans, you're gonna criticize when we do bad, but at the same time, we did something good this season with the FA Cup. It's been a terrible season, and obviously it's gonna paper over the cracks a little bit. But I'm gonna run with this and say Arteta winning a trophy, coming into a team that's been that terrible, for him to turn it around in such a short time period, to bring the positivity in the dressing room and raise the levels of the dressing room, that is very positive, and I'm happy for that. Going into next year, it gives us the stepping stone that we need to just push on to something better. And it can possibly change Aubameyang's mind into staying. It can possibly change guys like Ceballos' mind into staying. And it might turn some people's heads that might not have been interested in signing with us to now look at us as an option.
I think with Aubameyang, I was looking at it because before I came on here, I was playing games on Twitch and I was talking with my chat and stuff. And with Aubameyang, even if he does want to leave, what options are there to go to? I mean, Bayern have Lewandowski, Barca, they were looking at him, but he's a bit too old, and they have Suarez and Messi. Real Madrid have Benzema, Dortmund have Haaland, Man United have Martial, Chelsea have Werner, Spurs have Kane.
Juve got Ronaldo. Like, there's very limited places that
all the big clubs are going to have their big strikers. They're going to have their main man up front.
And to be fair, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we've had Lacazette mostly up front, and he's been playing off the left wing, and the goals he's managed to score and be one behind Vardy this season, and matched also Mane last season, whilst playing on the left most of the time, just shows the quality of striker we've got. And it puts to rest anyone that says he doesn't turn up. Number 14 gave us our 14th FA Cup.
Yeah, I was one of those guys who was.
That's his cup.
I'm saying with Aubameyang.
Brian, you're eating your words now.
No. I'm one of those guys who always said about Aubameyang. Yeah, he scores all these goals, and that's great, but he's got to make that step up to do it when it really matters. And yeah, he scored 2 goals in the semi-final, 2 goals in the final.
At home against Chelsea this season, against Tottenham, against Man United, home and away.
Before you carry on, I'm just going to add Connor. Connor, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. What do you want to say?
Good win, but you can't allow this to paper over the cracks. You know, a lot of work has to be done in the summer. If you want to build, it's a good win, but you can't let this get in front of everything else.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
but you can enjoy it.
Finishing eighth. Finishing eighth. If that doesn't make it clear to the board and the owners that something needs to be done, then nothing will. So,
I actually think winning the FA Cup might actually not be a good thing for you guys. Not because of you guys don't deserve it or anything like that, but your board might just be like, we can still win trophies and haven't spent that much. Yo, let's just keep going down the path we're going down.
Like, there's 2 ways you could look at it.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing if you're bored. Look at it and be like, we're not going to invest as much as we need to get back to the top.
I know, but it was a necessary evil if in that case then, because you need it for European. You need it for to get into Europa League. And number two, winning is a habit. If you win, you can get into the habit of winning.
Yeah, but if you keep it at this level and all you'll be winning is FA Cups.
I'm just going to add this. Mr. Fury, you sent me expressions videos right after the FA Cup.
What'd you say?
Right, you're going on about how it's a habit and it's a regular occurrence. You've got to get in that habit, right? And then you sent me the expressions video, which is sort of a reaction to Arsenal winning the cup.
Yeah.
Oh, don't! I was in tears. I'm sorry.
Expressions are a funny guy, man.
But
yeah,
I love him to death. But he's brilliant.
To your point, Miguel, I understand what you're saying. Where a habit winning is a habit of winning and more winning. But what with the level that you're at, the only habit you'll be winning is Carabao Cups and FA Cups. You guys still need to. Because Europa League is still even with us, that's not a certainty that we'll win that anyway. So like if you want to go to winning habit to Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, your squad needs to improve. And if your board sees this winning as, we can win things without spending money, let's just leave it. That's what I'm saying. It will be a bad thing to happen. Your board really should be like, we've won things with this squad. If we invest, we could go higher.
And that's what happened
the way Arteta's been going. I do not think he's going to let the board sit on it. The way he's been saying it in press conferences and making it very clear that despite what happens, we need to invest.
Well, but the thing is, he keeps saying we need to invest, but I mean, he's been saying that basically every press conference, but that's basically him begging the board saying we need to invest. That doesn't mean they're going to, because the same thing happened.
Said that. He didn't say those words specifically. He said, when you look at the other team like Liverpool, they're ahead of us, and we need to get to that level. When you see Man City, they're ahead of us, and they're top teams in Europe that we could beat. We need to get to that level.
No, I know. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, that's what he's saying. But you look at, for example, with Frank, last game of the season against Wolves, we beat 2-0. And he said, us getting top four, it should be basic bare minimum expectations for Chelsea. But it's not something to celebrate. We want to be not challenging for the Premier League and Champions League. We want to be winning those trophies. And we're going to continue to invest and build. Same with what United are doing with Ollie. You can say what you want about Ollie not being good enough and this and that, but they are trusting him and they're building with him. One thing with Arteta is he's arguably better than Frank and Ollie. Fine, fair enough. But what does all that mean if he's not given the financial backing to grow and build with the club?
Claude, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think considering what they had, no money to spend, Chelsea. To get in the top four, I think is quite an achievement, actually.
Let's just remember though, the reason why they didn't spend no money because he was cheating, fam. So that's just true. Chelsea, they're not banned for breaking rules.
But we can go on about Man City. We can go on about Man City cheating. But
for me, that financial fair play is irrelevant now. What happened with Man City? It's irrelevant, completely irrelevant.
It was not FFP. It's something to do with the youth, innit? With the way you were getting.
That as well. But with all these rules that they put out there, they got what did they get? A 1 year suspension? Did they or?
No, they just got a fine.
Nothing.
Chelsea.
It was 2 years.
With Chelsea, it was supposed to be.
No. It was supposed to be a season. No, it was supposed to be a season. What we did was we accepted the ban and we appealed it and we got January off. We were able to spend money in January.
But can I say something? That whole thing is a myth. because Chelsea signed. Chelsea, you didn't sign any players, but you brought back into your squad more players than every single team in the top 6. With a bunch of your academy graduates that you brought in, plus people came back from loans. I think Chelsea technically only you didn't sign a single player, but you brought in 10 players into your squad this season. That's ridiculous.
But when you look at the players we brought into our squad, Pulisic, who wasn't Premier League proven, Tammy Abraham, who he's not good enough to win a Premier League title with, Mason Mount, he's a decent backup. Reece James, he's good, but he's growing. We brought in players that are not like, so you spent 72 million on Pepe, and United spent 80 million or 85 million on Maguire. We didn't spend money.
But listen, I think the different thing with Chelsea next season, the different pressure they're going to have next season is he's going to get better players in, and how Lampard deals with because the pressure will be on Lampard now. The challenge to that will be the pressure because of the signings that they've made in the transfer window. So that will be more pressure. We'll see how good he is next season because what the expectation level of the Chelsea board next season will be that they get nearer the top 2 than they have this year. As for Arsenal, I think the next aim is to get into the top 4. I think that's Arteta's now got. That's what he'll be under pressure to go because if he's not getting in the top 4 next season, then maybe he's under pressure as well. And he has a decision to make now to get at least 7 or 8 of them players, which he has stated apparently, 7 or 8 of them out, and bring in experienced players plus use the youth that he's got at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. But as far as Chelsea's concerned, I think they've had a fantastic season, really, considering everything. Arsenal, no, of course, not had a good team, but they've had a bonus of winning the FA Cup. That's been a big thing. If you're going to say overall in the season, it's been a poor season for Arsenal.
That's
particularly Arteta's fault because he came in December, didn't he? So that's not really his fault. But he's still got a lot of things to do to prove that he is the ultimate manager. But we'll see.
Well, you just answered that question because the question came up in the comments about next year and what would be a good year for Arsenal next year.
Progression. And
I'm just going to answer it myself. I mean, we get the right investment and spend not just the right investment in terms of how much money we get. We invest it in the right players because players like Kolasinac go at 100 grand a week. I mean, I could be attached to my infusion pump on Thursday and I could still pass the ball 5 yards.
Can I say one thing though?
I just finished, and my feeling is if we're going to invest, it needs to be in just the key areas defensively because the way we were playing against City, Liverpool, Chelsea, it works. So give more quality for that sort of way of football. If that's what's going to work, then so be it. I don't mind if we win trophies.
Are you guys are Arsenal fans? Are you guys okay with that style of football then in big games?
Listen,
we used to have that with George Graham.
Yeah. You had Wenger who played the attractive football, and you guys criticised the likes of Jose when we play you guys, and we end up winning.
Listen. There's a difference. We're not doing this against Bournemouth and Southampton. We're doing this against the best of the best. If you're doing this against Bournemouth and Southampton, you should get criticized.
That's true. But Prime Jose doesn't do that against the Bournemouths and stuff like that. He did it against the big teams, and he got results and won trophies.
I've never criticised Jose, but let me.
Not you specifically. I mean, as a fan base.
The fan base is split with our fan base. Let's get this right. Yeah, I've never criticised Jose.
Right now, no one's criticising.
And a lot of these people that have criticised Jose about his style of play cannot just say, talk about Arteta, because Arteta then is doing the same thing as well. He's playing the same style as well to get results. So at the end of the day, Jose finished all right. They finished 6th in the league. I think considering where they done quite well because when they were a mess when when he picked them up. So
What team?
I wouldn't write them. I wouldn't write him off as a manager. I wouldn't write him off completely because he's very dangerous.
Listen,
I think Spurs.
The only time I've criticised him is when he's playing against Bournemouth and they're not even having a shot on target. Right, when a team like Tottenham Hotspur should be dominating the game, right? But if you're going to go against Liverpool, Man City, there is no way we're going to go toe to toe with Man City, Liverpool.
When they played Bournemouth, are you talking about Spurs? When they played Bournemouth, did they have
Villa?
Prime, you say that?
No, but when they played Spurs, when Spurs played Bournemouth, was that not when Kane and Son were out injured?
No, that was literally 2 weeks ago.
Kane was just getting back to fitness. That's what I'm saying.
But their strike force wasn't fully fit.
Bro, that was 3 games ago, Prime. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but their attack wasn't fully fit.
That was the game before the Arsenal game.
If you watch their last 3 games, they've had the full fitness and they tried to steamroll the teams in the last 3 games. They're going to be a dangerous team next season.
They'll win the Europa League next season.
Who?
Who?
Over my
Spurs.
No way.
Bro, there's something called football heritage. Mourinho knows that, and he's going to a club that doesn't win shit. So
but Arsenal are a team who don't win European trophies. So
Prime.
At least a century.
Can I first? Stop trying to change the
And Jose had football heritage of winning things.
Stop, Prime. Stop talking over people. Let me talk.
We haven't won the modern European trophies. But
that's what I mean.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about one topic first. The man was talking about comparing Jose's football to Arteta. What you have to understand is Arteta, within the game, everything changes. There's differences between games. There's difference between closing out a game where you shouldn't even be up in the first place, where Liverpool, they battered us, but we still came out of that game with 2-0. When you talk about the Man City game, you cannot actually compare that to Jose Mourinho's football because we built up from the back for the first goal. From the back, fluid, 18 passes. There was no long ball in that possession. So when you're talking about 3 goals that happen to be long balls from the left-hand side to Aubameyang, that is a tactic. That's not necessarily consistently played like that.
Okay, let me answer that.
Let me just get Mr. What do you think?
All this bullshit about how you
cool,
get the ball.
Let Mr. Fury let Mr. Fury have a chance.
Sorry.
It's all game management.
Okay.
You build the game and you says where to go wrong. So that's that's how you judge a game.
True, but I also said prime Jose. I didn't say Jose now. I said prime Jose when he was in his palm.
But that's not fair because I feel like you only probably watched the Man City game, Liverpool game, and your game. I don't feel like you watched the rest of the game.
No, I've watched a lot of Arsenal this season.
Did you watch us destroy?
Of course he did. He's watched us lose.
No, and I've also watched you win.
Did you watch us destroy Newcastle?
I'm saying what you're doing is wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But my point is, it's the football that you're playing in the big games anyway.
No, but it's ironic coming from you as a Chelsea fan.
How is it? No, but how is it ironic?
Wait, he's not. Wait. He's not dissing you guys for doing what you're doing.
I'm comparing it. It's not a fair comparison in the style.
How isn't it not compared? Because you said, for example, the goal, you were saying that you build out and played out of the back and Mourinho hoofed the ball. No, prime Mourinho never did that. I remember Mourinho at Chelsea and playing in big games against the likes of United and Barca and things like that, and being able to play and dominate against them. I remember Mourinho's first spell when we played Barcelona in the Champions League, and we dominated them. And if not for poor refereeing decisions, we should have won that game. So you can't.
Maybe comparing prime Jose and Arteta's football is a bit too far back and too big of a gap. What we can do, if you're gonna look at comparing.
I think in the long run, Arteta does not want to play like that. He's doing it for a reason, the fact he can't go toe-to-toe with Man City and Liverpool.
No, I know. Yeah. But that's but my point I was going to go on to is the fact that because the big thing with Arteta and Arsenal is the backing. And if he's there for 2 or 3 seasons and he's not getting back and he's playing this style in the big games. One, will the fans be happy about it? Particularly if you're not winning the majority of the big games because the teams will just have better players. And two, if other teams like PSG, Barcelona, even Man City see how good Arteta is doing with Arsenal with limited resources, what's going to stop Arteta from going to those teams?
True.
Listen, I think you're looking at it too narrow. The thing that Arsenal have had problems with is closing out games. And if you have a manager who's good at closing out games, we have 14 draws. You turn 3 of those draws into wins. That takes our point total into the top 4 right away. Okay.
But that had nothing to do with what I was saying.
You're criticizing him for his style of play.
No. I've never criticized. I'm actually praising his style of play. I respect it.
Right, what Prime is doing is asking you guys as fans if this style of football is to continue. Are you guys happy with it in the big games?
Expectations has been lowered by Emery. And now him coming in, it's at a time where the expectations are so low. Whatever he does, as long as he wins his games, fans are going to take it.
No, I'm not saying you guys won't because you had, for example, Wenger in the big games who was trying to go toe-to-toe with Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool and getting torn apart. So I'm praising Arteta for what he's doing. My point is, if it's 2-3 seasons old and he's still doing this because you're not getting the investment, will the fans be happy with it? 1. And 2, if other teams see the progression, for example, Man United, Oli, in my opinion, will be there for 2, maybe 3 years to build a team for the next manager.
I beg it's 1.
Okay, 1 year, but we don't know who the next manager will be.
Listen.
Maybe that next world-class manager could be an Arteta that Arsenal want to get, or Man City will want to get, or a PSG. My point is, what's stopping Arteta from going there?
It took 2 months. It took 2 months without a win for Emery to get the whole fan base to turn on Emery. It will take a lot for the whole fan base to turn on.
It's not the fan base. It's talking about the board.
I'm not talking about the fan base. I'm talking about the board.
Results are different things.
Can we just move on? Because I've got a couple of questions in the right. Gideon Haran 1999 asks Claude, would you start next season Leno or Martinez?
I would start Martinez. I don't see any reason to drop him.
I'd go with that. I think everyone's got to fight their way in.
He's come in. He's commanded his box. He's been around. In fact, and I hate to say because I don't want to see anyone get injured. And by the way, I'm disgusted by some Arsenal fans that were cheering in certain watching on a big channel. Certain Arsenal fans cheering someone getting injured.
Yeah, I said because I went to pick up my bag. I went to pick up my bag, and
thanks for having me on, mate.
You gotta go. Thanks for coming on. It means a lot.
No problem, bro.
Right. But yeah, I said I said to a couple of fans that were watching it, and I said that's not funny.
I think it's right.
And they went, they're not. Right, they said they're not laughing because he's injured. They said I don't care. It's not funny. Either way.
At the end of the day, we're supposed to be a classy club, and it's not classy at all. Anyway.
Yeah. Just another question, and it's your good friend Terry, Claude. Who's had the better season, the experienced manager with the Spuds or the inexperienced manager Arteta with Arsenal?
Well,
enough said about Jose.
Hold on a minute. All right. It depends how you look at it. Okay, Spurs have ended up with no trophy, yeah, and they're in the league. I judge teams by league positions, right? If you're going to go down the route of the FA Cup and say it's successful, well, then we could say Wigan. Then we might as well have Martinez in charge of Arsenal then, because he won the FA Cup and got relegated the same season. What I'm trying to say is, I look at his position. I would say it's about the same because we won a trophy. They finished higher than us, so you know I think it's about the same thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I look at the league where you finish in the league, and they actually. If you think about it, they took 4 points off us. as well in the season. So really, that you can't. If you're going to ask me who's had a better league season, I'd say Spurs. But if you're going to ask me, would you rather win? If you want to win a trophy, of course you're going to want to win a trophy at the end of the season.
I like Wayne.
That's it. I can't really answer properly, but I understand I know where Terry's. He's trying to wind me up there. I know because I know what he's doing.
Yeah, can I quickly go back to your goalkeepers for a second? There are two very, very good goalkeepers, by the way. I think Martinez has proven himself, and he's now technically the best number 2 in the league. I know that was, as a United fan, I would say that would be Romero normally, but Martinez has actually been in goal for quite a while now. So
long and leave and come back, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And then, so yeah, he's had a very good season. I don't know if you can keep hold of both of them for too long. I think one of them will potentially want to go because both of them are good enough to start for. I think at least from 6 downwards, both your goalkeepers could start in the Premier League. So I think potentially maybe one of them, not saying this summer, but maybe potentially next summer, one of them will end up leaving because I think that they're both too good to have one on the bench.
Well, that is the problem you've got when you've got 2 good people. That's why it's very hard. But then you have to if you want to compete with Trove, you've got to have 2 players in every position. No, I think he deserves to stay in the side. I think he's been since he's come in. I don't think he's put a foot wrong. His positioning, he organises his defence better. Maybe slightly with his kicking is not that great, but then nor is Leno's really. So no, I'd still keep him in.
Yeah, I think in some ways he's been better. And the reaction, I mean, did you see his reaction when they won the cup and he had his interview? Right? And the fact that he's had to sit there for 10 years and now has finally got his opportunity and succeeded. Yeah, if he's just thrown straight out the side, I wouldn't blame him if he says, "No, screw you lot, I'm going," because that wouldn't be fair on him.
It makes you wonder, why did you guys buy Leno when you had Martinez?
He was unproven at the time, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was unproven. But listen, it takes sometimes players need time to develop. He went all over the place, and he went to. He
was at Reading. He was in Portugal.
Yeah. So listen, he's proved his point, but then he's also got to keep his place. He's got to keep that form up because once he drops, then Leno will be back in. But I think it would be really poor if they'd have dropped him after that because he's done nothing wrong. I think
if I was an Everton or one of those teams looking to come up who have got a shaky goalkeeper, because little T, people call him T-Rex boy, I call him short arms Pickford. Yeah, he's not good. I'm sorry, but yeah, England's number 1, my ass, fam. But someone like an Everton, I think a cheeky 25 million bid for Martinez, and I think you secure him.
Leeds need a goalkeeper.
Leeds
coming up. Martinez for Leeds I think that would be a good buy.
Yeah, and who would offer?
If Chelsea were interested, if Chelsea or even Man United were interested in Martinez, would you go for him?
No, we've got Henderson anyway. So
Chelsea are Martinez is good, but he's not world class. I don't think he's that much of an improvement on Kepa, considering how bad our defensive structure is. Chelsea are looking at Jan Oblak, Andrzej Stegen, and Andrew Onana.
Nor is Leno world class, really, to be honest.
Yeah, so I think Chelsea are looking for that actual step up and that improvement.
Chelsea paid a lot of money for Kepa, didn't they? Look what's happening now.
But the thing with Chelsea with Kepa is we were actually interested in Alisson, but we wasted too much time with it, and Alisson went to Liverpool, and it's the same thing with Lukaku. Actually, Lukaku wanted to come to Chelsea, but we wasted too much time with that. He chose United, and then we had to buy Morata.
That something was weird.
Yep. Hello, Wayne. Thanks for coming on. I take it you're a Chelsea fan by the CFC.
Yeah, I am.
How's your feelings after this weekend?
It was disappointing, but
Cheers, by the way.
Expected. Like, obviously, we lost a lot of players due to injuries, and obviously, you played better, but we should have tried to win the game, but we just didn't. We fall flat.
Well, it's like I said, the first 20 minutes, I literally sitting here thinking, we don't close up, we're going to get screwed. But it just seemed after literally like the water break that you came out and just disappeared. And
I'm telling you, your man of the match, Stephen.
Yeah.
Your man of the match was actually Kelechi, fam, because the Arsenal judge, the Juju, was in full force and it was powerful. He was your man of the match. I don't know who he got from where to do a little sprinkle, but it was working.
Did you see what Kelechi posted on Instagram? He said the judge worked.
I told you, see, I'm telling you.
Yardy.
No comment. No comment.
Man.
No comment.
Was that Fury?
That was Yardman.
Oh, okay. But Wayne, what do you think on like now the season's over, like this whirlwind of a season? Wayne.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
The Wayne behind you. The Wayne behind you.
How do you sum up this whirlwind of a season?
How do I think that? What? Sorry, if you can repeat
for
Chelsea. This whirlwind of a season.
This month.
How do you sum it up this summer? This whole season.
Shambolic.
Serious.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, it wasn't that great. This coronavirus sort of like stopped the whole hype of football. But hopefully next season we can just think about who's going to win the league and see if Chelsea do well.
I think coronavirus helped with the hype of football.
Boy, coronavirus saved us, fam. We were. Oh gosh.
I look at with Chelsea this season. I think a lot of Chelsea fans and rival fans and pundits were saying Chelsea United wouldn't make the top 4; they'd barely make top 6. And I said they'd both get it because looking at the other teams around them, barring Man City and Liverpool, I don't think the other teams around them would be as strong this season. For example, with Arsenal, with Emery and everything and the downfall, I predicted that. I looked at Spurs and losing the Champions League final. That's going to affect any team, particularly when you don't spend money and you're not used to, having that mentality of winning. I looked at United with their strike force and their firepower. I said that it doesn't matter on how bad your defense is going to be. And I didn't know how well Wan-Bissaka and Maguire would work out. I thought that you guys would get enough goals to be able to fire yourself in the top 4. And yes, you had injuries to your attack, but you still got top 4. He's finished 3rd. And with Chelsea, as inconsistent as the likes of Tammy and Mount would be, we'd have enough to get into top 4, and we did. So
just before Laura says Claudiola, how are you? And apparently Sanchez is about to be paid 390 grand a week to Inter Milan for 3 years. Inter,
best Italian team in the world, fam. They're just buying everyone we don't want, and I love it. Manager of the year.
Did you see Ashley Young's goal the other day?
Oh, it was so mint. You see his hair? He has hair. Like, what's going on, man? I'm telling you.
KJ, that's the stress of not playing for Man United, man. That's the stress of not playing for United.
You know what that means? That means you can't handle the badge, fam. This badge is heavy. The badge is heavy, fam.
Oh, I don't know what's happened to Alexis, because I thought when he was at Arsenal, I thought he was a terrific player. It looks like It looks like he's not got on with the dressing room there. I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah,
But, because he's
worst transfer deal.
I don't know who got the worst deal actually, because we got Mkhitaryan.
This is what I mean. This is why it's the worst deal in Premier League history, man. Both teams suffered. How are both teams suffering?
Rubbish.
I mean, I think
we suffered more. We suffered more because we were earning him £200 a week.
I'd say
we're still suffering because we still got that PS4 specialist on 350 grand a week.
I'd say United got the better deal because Sanchez scored against Arsenal. United are making money off Sanchez now being sold. Mkhitaryan left on a free, and because Sanchez left, you had to pay Ozil $350 a week. So United got the better deal.
Yeah,
worst transfer in Prem history. I don't care anyone says.
I just don't get why we don't pay this guy off. Why don't we just pay him off?
You
not going to use him.
Yeah, but you can't because that takes money away from your transfer budget.
That is a transfer though. It's worth a transfer. It is.
But is it, like, for example, you guys want Thomas Partey. Is it worth not getting Partey?
17 million.
I know, but is it worth not getting someone like Partey if it means you pay off Ozil's remaining wage or contract?
Are you saying we can't do both?
I am saying that. Yeah, I am.
You can't do both. You should know what you should have done with that 25 million in Gondozi that you offered Atletico. Give that to Ozil, fam, and tell him to go with Gondozi to wherever they want.
The thing is, if you guys could have done both, you would have brought in Pepe and a centre back last season, but you got David Luiz.
Yeah, but partially was Koscielny. We didn't know what Koscielny was doing.
Yeah, but you got Saliba before Koscielny did his whatever he did.
Yeah, and the only way we could get that through is if we loaned him for the season.
Yeah, that's why Spurs didn't want to spend that money because Spurs wanted him this season, but the whole thing with it.
Mm.
And Arsenal, instead of getting like Upamecano, they were willing to buy Saliba, which was cheaper, knowing that he'd be coming the following season when they needed him this season.
Yeah, you got Saliba now, don't you? He's in the squad. He was there at the
FA we get
final,
Saliba now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what he's going to be like. Arsenal fans have got high hopes for him.
I want to question Wayne there. Wayne he said that he's disappointed in the season he's had. I mean, you qualified for you're disappointed in the season you've had, Wayne. You qualified for the Champions League, right? And listen, this is Frank Lampard with no cash to spend at the start of the season, having to rely on a lot of good players as well. I think you've done really well. I don't know how you can be disappointed with it.
Yeah, on that point, I think if we would have won on Saturday, it would be the icing on the cake. But it just feels like disappointment that we didn't achieve it.
Yeah, we didn't even have a cake, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne,
hold on. Would you have swapped winning on Saturday for not being in the Champions League next season?
No.
Nah.
You wouldn't, would you? Exactly. There you go.
Wait, relax. We still have to play Bayern Munich. 5-1 incoming. 5-1.
Yeah.
Let's not go there. Let's just not go there. That was just painful.
See, Wolves, believe it or not, Wolves
I feel sorry for Claude. He had to travel all the way out there.
What's that?
Yeah, Claude, can I ask?
To Bayern, to watch Bayern.
The 5-1s, anyway.
First leg, so we weren't bad at half time. I think we was drawing 1-1 at half time.
Yeah, and then just
everyone was
Koscielny got injured, and that was it.
What was that? Claude, can I ask? What was the atmosphere like in the game after? Because it was 1-1 at half time, but in the second half, what was the atmosphere like after each goal?
Do you know what made me laugh? What is the announcer? He's taking the piss, isn't he? After every goal, he's going, Bayern Munich 2, Arsenal 1.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Really after every goal, talk about really milking it. So
like Sky Sports used to do fan commentary.
Yeah.
Like one guy's an Arsenal fan, one guy's a Chelsea fan, and they're both commenting on the game. they're both rinsing each other after they scored.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, the announcer really was going into it after they scored. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it, you know what I mean? But
the Germans do football atmosphere. Well, like Germany, Turkey, Mexico, Argentina, those countries, they just do it. Wow.
You know what you see in the Dortmund? Everyone says it's great. Don't get me wrong, looks great. But they've got their backs against the fucking game all the time. They're not even watching the game. How can you enjoy it?
Yeah, but Claude, most English fans are too pissed to watch the game as well, so no one's watching football.
See, that's what I hate when you have like for example, people say that Etihad is empty and Chelsea has no atmosphere, Arsenal has no atmosphere. No team in the Premier League has atmosphere, barring what, Crystal Palace and a lot of the lower league sides.
No, I'll tell you this, when I was at St James's Park.
At Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle.
No. Listen, actually, no, I'm going to challenge you on this because I was at St James's Park the 2017 or 2016 when they beat Liverpool 2-0. It was 0-0. Atmosphere was dead for the entire game until they scored the first one, and then it was lit.
I'm surprised United fans going to a Liverpool game.
I lived in Middlesbrough for university.
Yeah, of course you did.
And one of my mates, he's a Liverpool fan. He got 2 tickets to go to Newcastle and Liverpool. I wasn't gonna go at the time, but he couldn't make it on the day, so me and my other friend took the tickets and went. It was sick, man. And Liverpool lost as well. Oi! It was a beautiful day, fam. It was a beautiful day.
You in the away end?
No, it was in the home end. I was with the Geordies fam. It was sick.
Oh, so you like a big party in the Geordies in?
Yeah. It was sick, man.
So, yeah, I mean, we get the atmosphere is obviously going to always be a problem at the minute. And obviously there's no atmosphere at the minute for obvious reasons. I was wondering about the fact that
sorry, Stephen. You know, you've got going on about atmospheres, right? No, in the ground, no one in the ground. But you know what? In a certain way, you was in the bars. We were doing our own thing, having a drink and watching the game. Yeah, I think it's in a certain way it's all great because when you're at Wembley, you can't sit there while you're watching the game and having a drink, can you? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, looking at your watch along, which you was at, Stephen, looked like it was a nice atmosphere. You're all drinking while the game was going on. So, in a way,
I'm just going to stress to everyone, right? I ain't been drinking.
No, but I'm just saying, people were allowed.
Before anyone gets any ideas about this channel, I was not drinking.
Stephen's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Go on, Claude.
Everyone was enjoying themselves, and they're all up together enjoying themselves, watching the game, and all having a lot and hugging each other and all that.
Oh yeah, when we won the cup. I mean, when the final was
at Wembley, you're not all sat together at Wembley, and you can't have that joyous feeling together. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, and it's a one-off. I think people quite enjoyed it. I think you lot all enjoyed it, didn't you? I enjoyed the occasion. It didn't really bother me about the no admission. I enjoyed the games as they're going on, and although we do, and it's going to help
the team. I think this band's been away helped.
Yeah, well, exactly, and also next season it's not going to get better. Apparently, no away fans are allowed. Apparently, and 40% capacity at games. So we'll have to get used to it. Sad, but we have to get used to it.
That 40% capacity.
No away fans for North London Derby at home.
I wonder how 40% capacity is actually going to work because people have season tickets.
Yeah, so
apparently fans are up in arms because they've been told to put the money up front and then get the refund if they don't get if they don't get games.
What's the point in?
But if you look at the celebrations that Arsenal fans are doing and Liverpool fans, if you look at celebrations that Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans did for the cups, the way people were all massed together, just open up the stadiums, man. Like, you may as well. No one's really, like, I understand why they don't want to.
That is another thing, because all this, this is what I don't understand. If you looked at that in that watch along that Stephen was at, they're all hugging each other all together. There's no social distance whatsoever. So it does make a nonsense of it. It does.
The only reason why, like, for example, with the football and stuff.
The problem is when you get that second goal, and when we got that, like, when we even got the equaliser, the second goal, and then the final whistle, right? You lose. You know you're supposed to social distance, but you forget about it because you're lost in the moment.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say to you is, it makes a nonsense why they're not allowing the full capacity.
Which is why last night when I started coughing, I started getting afraid. And I was like, "Oh, please don't, because I'm dead. I'm gone otherwise."
No, but you understand. I agree with you. That's why I can't understand why they're doing this. Because people are all together anyway. I mean, I saw a thing outside the Islington Bar Grill in Holloway Road. They were all bunched together, all outside. Police were there weren't doing anything.
They're chilling. That's what I mean. They're chilling. They're like, yo, they're not touching me.
I'm just trying to say that the all this social distancing was going on. They had even a few flares going up as well. So who cares anymore? No one really caring about this social distance.
Now it's off. The restrictions have been relaxed. I mean, after they've been relaxed, that people sort of get the idea that it's gone. Some people get the idea it's gone. It's not there no more. Give it to the winter. Give it to the winter. It will come back again, because that's what viruses do.
One thing about it though, I don't think coronavirus is gonna. Oh, sorry.
Yes, I was hugging troops for ages after the match, but yeah, I was, like I said, lost in the moment.
But the thing with coronavirus is, I think personally, it's not going to go anywhere anyway. Even if we shut down for 2 years, I think it would still be around, because that's how viruses are. The flu's still around. All these things have been around for centuries.
Unless there's a vaccine, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's about how do we move forward without fear, and how do we maintain and contain it. I feel like we can return to as normal living as we can. I think when people start to realize, actually, no, we can actually maintain it. Most people who contract it aren't in necessarily the same amount of danger as someone who's vulnerable. Let's try and make it safe for as vulnerable people as possible. I think it'd be a way we can return back to normal life, but I think because there's so much fear still around it, and it's still there's still a lack of understanding of how it works and how we can maintain it. I feel like that's what's really like got people worried. But I believe that we can get through this, and I think we're actually seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. I personally don't think there'll be a second wave, personally. And if there is, it won't be as big as it was before, because hopefully the government and medical officials have learned from this time. So yeah, I have hope, man. I'm a hopeful person. I'm a positive guy. So we can do this, people. We'll be back in the stadiums in no time. By that time, Jadon Sancho will be wearing that number 7 shirt at United, fam.
Yeah, flopping at Old Trafford.
Nah, mate, you'll be walking in, dancing on. You'll be doing the moonwalk on Emirates, and then you'll spit it on Chelsea's badge, fam. Let's go.
Right.
He's a Chelsea fan. You never do that. He's a Chelsea fan. You never do that.
Watch him, fam. You'll go there. Tour. What childhood, fam?
CG asks, what does the panel think of any future involvement of Kia Joorabchian with Arsenal transfers, since Coutinho and Willian are his clients that he will securely tout them both to Arsenal for forcing them to buy.
Yeah,
we should reject it.
What, reject it?
Yeah.
What, you don't Willian will massively improve your team. Yes, he will.
He's an upgrade. Whether he's got that hunger to play for that he will have at Chelsea is another thing. But he's definitely an upgrade on what we've got.
Arguably, Willian has been our player of the year this season.
We fell in the trap with Czech, and I didn't think we got the best out of him. And in the end, he threw the fucking cup final. So I'm not gonna.
This thing with Czech. First of all, he was an old goalkeeper, but keep in mind he was still starting for Chelsea the season before we sold him. 2, your defensive structure is a lot worse than Chelsea's. So any goalkeeper is going. I'm talking about during that time.
Not on what I saw Saturday.
No, I'm talking about during that time. So any goalkeeper is going to look bad. Same thing proven with Kepa this season. Chelsea last season, Kepa looked amazing. And he looks terrible this season. No, he was okay. He was
okay. He was like he
wasn't. No, he was because Chelsea conceded I think like 32 or something goals, and 9 of them were from Bournemouth and City in 1 week.
I mean, I used to play as a goalkeeper, so I could never play outfield. I was absolutely useless. But as a goalkeeper, sometimes you can only be as good. You can be absolutely brilliant, but at certain points, you can only be as good as your defense.
What I've been saying all the time on
especially
football
when you're against world-class strikers. And
forget world-class strikers because Sheffield scored 3 against us. It's not just world-class strikers. Exactly. If you don't have a defensive structure, any team can score against you.
Yeah, the only thing I think Czech did wrong in his whole spell at Arsenal was announcing he's going to be technical director before he actually left. And that was a bit mad.
Okay. No. 1, he didn't announce it. It came from Chelsea. 2, let's not. Arsenal fans were getting angry. Let's not act as if this deal wasn't in the making years ago.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying for Chelsea, if it wasn't for Chelsea to do that was a bit peak in it. Like let the man retire. And as soon as he retires, just announce the thing, fam. But maybe that was the sabotage. Maybe that was the agent check plan for Baki, fam. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to dip off. I got some food waiting for me, so see you in a bit.
Thanks
for having me on, Stephen. Everyone, Claude, nice to meet you. Everyone, have a good day, man. Big up.
Zach, before you go, next season, Henderson or De Gea to start.
Hendo, fam. I'm here for it.
Wait, KJ, before you leave, Wayne, will you take De Gea at Chelsea to start next season?
What?
Wait, if De Gea went to Chelsea?
Yeah, would you take De Gea at Chelsea to start next season?
Listen, if you give us the peas, have the man.
Because I think the problem with De Gea is he just doesn't want to be at Man United anymore. I don't believe that he's a bad goalkeeper.
Legit. If you got the peas, pay us the money, have man. Because I'd rather get money for De Gea now.
How much?
And then spend it somewhere.
Yes. How much?
Yo,
how much?
50 bags. 50 bags. I'll take it.
Nah, 50 mil. 50 mil.
Boy, he's got years left on his contract, and Kepa's is Spain number 1, and Kepa went for
no. Kepa's Spain's number 1.
No, actually, they're both the number 2, fam. What we on about? They're both the number 2. But if you guys had the peas, buy De Gea by all means, and then we can hopefully invest that into a centre back or left back or something.
Because I genuinely would. It'd be a risk, but I think it's worth it. I think De Gea just needs to get out of United. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, hopefully he gets the swan song somewhere where we don't have to see him again, because it'd be pretty peak if we blast 5 against him or something. I wouldn't want that to happen to him. But if you guys have the peas,
I think Spain.
Oh, the Spain. Spain hate him just for the fact that like the World Cup and he rejected Madrid. Spain don't like him, fam. Now, why do you think he's still here? All right, guys.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I gotta go, man. You guys continue.
Take care. Yeah. Oh, Claude, can I just say this? I wanted to say this at the start, but I watch the stuff that you do online and your content and stuff like that. I just want to say, even though you are an Arsenal fan and I'm a Chelsea fan, I am a fan of what you do and like the content that you make and just your opinions about football. The fact that you're so unbiased.
That's the only way you can be. I mean,
I try and be like that because I've been on the football terrace for a bit, and I try and be like that as well. Like,
you can only I can only give it as what I see, and I can't be biased. If you start being biased, it doesn't look good on it. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
I say what I see, and I thought on Saturday, I thought we rode our luck. And it's great, and I'm going to enjoy it, but.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm going to say the truth. I think the first, if Pulisic had stayed on the pitch, I think it would have been a lot. The game could have gone either way. It's just I mean, to lose two key players like that is a big blow. I think if we lost two players like that, I think we'd have got. But listen, I'm going to take it because this is the difference between me and certain people on the channel. When we were losing and the referee was making decisions, which could have gone either way, and people were calling the referee all that, I didn't complain. Right, and I'm not going to complain when they go our way either. So that's the way.
Exactly. Like DT today, he uploaded a review of the game and stuff like that, player ratings. And he was saying that the referee had a brilliant game and stuff like that. And I was just like,
no, that's bias. That's bias. It was appalling offside, absolutely appalling. But at the end of the day, you can only do what's in front of you. You can only win. You win the game, you take it.
Yeah,
you celebrate. I've been to cup finals where we've absolutely hammered teams. I mean, the Liverpool one in 2001, we should have been outside, right? And that was a took it on the chin. Good luck. That's the cup. That's the cup.
Yeah.
The league is the one that tells you where you are as a football side.
Exactly, it's true because when Chelsea won the Champions League, we finished sixth.
Exactly.
Fifth.
So doesn't mean we are the best team in Europe.
You finished fifth, and you had to win that to not Tottenham.
Yeah, fifth. Yeah.
I was in hospital, and like the actual
cup competition
was a Tottenham fan, right? So that night, the nurse looking after us was a Tottenham fan. So when you lot actually won the Champions League and knocked them out, she couldn't wait until the next shift because I could just
actually
all night constantly reminding her.
Two questions here. Over the past 5 years, who has been the better? Who's been the better team or acted like the bigger club in North London? You, Arsenal or Spurs?
In a way, last 5 years.
Yeah.
You'd have to say Spurs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
if I said Arsenal, I'd be too biased.
Yeah. Okay. And who's the biggest club in London, Arsenal or Chelsea?
Well, Chelsea at the moment, because you're going to talk about tradition or history, or are you talking about who's got the best side at the moment?
I think currently at the minute.
I'm talking about a bit of both.
Well, I'd say no. Well, if you're going to go Arsenal for trophies and winning are the third biggest club in England, yeah. But if you're going to go on current, who's better at the moment, I'd say they finished fourth. They finished top four, which is Champions League football next season. We're going to be playing that Mickey Mouse tournament in Europe, unfortunately. But if we didn't win the FA Cup, it wouldn't have been unhappy about not being in it. Actually, to be honest, I don't like the competition. I think it's a joke until you get even the quarterfinals.
It's not that hard to win the Europa League.
What I'm trying to say is it's not a great tournament as far as quality of clubs are concerned. But that's only because that's only because now we've got 4 teams going into the Champions League. If the Champions League was just down to the top 2, the Europa League would be a better competition. But it's not. True. You've got a lot of crap teams in there, mate, and a lot of countries that have just formed and we're just coming into it and producing teams out of nothing, and it just gets boring, really, because you just. But if you can ask me who's the better side at the moment, of course it's Chelsea.
Well, no, at the moment, I don't mean like literally based on this season. I mean based on the fact, like, for example, Chelsea. Well, Arsenal won the FA Cup the weekend, but Chelsea are the last team in London to win the Prem, Champions League, Europa League, and the League Cup. We're the last team we're the only team to win a double. We've got. We're the only team this century to win European trophies. In the last decade, or at least are we still in the last decade? We've won the most trophies in England, and I think we've won joint FA Cups with you guys, or is it the most FA Cups?
No. We're 14.
It depends if you're going to go. One more. It depends if you go over a certain amount of time. If you're going to go back through history, then that's different. It depends how you pick it, how you look at it, If you look over the last 15, 20 years, I could. You've got an argument. But if you're going to go even further than that, then you haven't got an argument.
That's true.
What I will say about my football club, and it's not a dig at Chelsea, we've never been relegated.
Never.
But that doesn't necessarily mean anything if. No, but for example, I'm 22 years old, and in my lifetime, other than the fact that you guys went invincible, which, as much as I can banter 12 draws, it is an amazing achievement. Because the next season after, Chelsea only lost 1 game, and we didn't go invincible. But you guys, other than that, you guys.
By the way, with the invincible, I would have rather lost 1 game that season because we should have Champions League that year.
Yeah, you should have. You should have.
Opportunity to win it, and we didn't. And we were too concentrating on unbeaten. I would have taken 1 or 2 defeats. For me, you win the title, and that's it. All this gold trophy and unbeaten means nothing to me. At the end of the day, if you're champions, you're champions. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you win 1, lose 1 game, lose 3.
See, that's why I like you, Claude. That's why I like you, Claude. You speak sense.
Like I said, when if you're going to go through complete history of the 2 football clubs in comparison, I was having this argument with someone on Facebook earlier, who's a friend from college, and he hadn't been coming. He said he was going to come on, but he hasn't. And I mean, I brought even notes just to make sure that, like, to back up my point, is that we've won 36 honours. They've won 24. Yeah, you've won a Champions League. Yeah, you've won a Europa League. But in the end, they count as 1 trophy.
Well,
it's 1 honour. It's
See, but this is what I'm saying about Europe.
We've won 2 Europa Leagues.
You're talking about the European Cup, which is the same as the Champions League, It's just
no, because my point at the end of it is the fact that
Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup. Does that make them a bigger team than Arsenal? No.
Well, I would say maybe Leeds are bigger than Arsenal. But anyway, my point is the fact that with everything Chelsea have done, if we're not bigger than Arsenal, what would it take for us to be bigger than Arsenal? Is it the fact that we have to win more trophies? Do we have to be successful for a longer period of time?
No, listen, as I've said,
again, it depends on the basis of the question you want to ask and the length of time you want to go down.
By the time I've gone to the other side of the when I'm up there in the sky or whatever you call it.
Oh, we ain't having no talk on that.
Yeah, but a few years, it won't be long. A few more years.
And take another 100 years, Claude. You'll be around for another 100 years.
I'd be lucky to be 100 days, never mind 100 years. But if by then,
You can't say that. You ain't got a health lot, man. Nah, go on.
If let's say next 20 years, next 20 years, dominate, then I think you've got a point. But see, we're going on in the history from where the history where you're born and when I'm born, is a lot more. I'm probably about 30, 40 years older than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, because that's why I asked the question, because like people say, oh, well, because I can list what we've done over the past, even forgetting even not including Abramovich, going beyond that, I can list what we've done. And people can say, okay, Arsenal have won more they've won more league titles, Arsenal won more FA Cups and things like that. And that's what do Chelsea have to do to be bigger than, because I'm not going to say bigger than United and Liverpool, they're the two biggest clubs in one of the two biggest clubs in world football, but what would we have to do to be bigger than Arsenal then? Do we have to win more league titles or win more FA Cups, or do we have to win even more European trophies, or like what exactly do we have to do?
Keep winning league titles and then keep winning Champions League and you'll be bigger, because then you'll add up. I mean, how many league titles have you won so far?
6 league titles, 5 as Prem.
5, yeah.
Okay, 5 Prem, yeah. Prem.
This is where I don't like when the people go Prem, because football existed before the Premier League. Yeah,
true.
Let's not get mistaken. All right, we're going on. If you're going on Premier League record, then of course you've got a good case, because they've won more titles in the Premier League. If you're going to go over the whole thing, you're talking about a team that's got 13 league titles. As I said, although they've not won the Euro Champions League, European Cup, whatever, but I think if you win a couple of European Cups and probably about 4 or 5 more titles, maybe, then you maybe then you can say that you are the number 1 London club. But I think just at the moment, if I'm going to go over the whole history,
I know, I get that. That's why I asked, because you say what we have to win. What is it, like, say 4 more Premier Leagues or league titles and
European Cups, European. Which is not easy.
So, but if we do that by, say, 4 more Premier Leagues and 2 or 3 more, say, Champions Leagues, if we do that by 2028 or 2030, then can we say we're a bigger club than Arsenal?
Case, but that's life, that's history. As the years go on, you might overtake us. But at this present moment, if you're looking back on since football's begun, when they started kicking a ball about the pitch, you have to start to say that history says Arsenal are. But at the moment, if you're talking about Premier League and the last in the Premier League, of course you are the better team. You are the best team, when it comes to Premier League, which from 1990. So the last, say, 20, is that 28 years?
Yeah.
28 years, I would say yes, because you won more titles.
Okay. Cool. Just curious.
Just quick, if anyone in the chat wants to come in and quickly have their say, right, the link's in the description. Love to have you come on and have your say, or ask any questions to this illustrious panel. And smash the likes up as well. That would mean a lot.
Yeah, guys, come on, everyone. Wayne does amazing things, makes amazing content. So everyone, come on, smash the like button, share this everywhere.
Quickly, Wayne, what were your thoughts about that just now, that last discussion?
About like the whole season, or like with like Arsenal?
Who's the bigger club? What were your thoughts on it?
Well, everything you were saying, you were both right, because like what other fans are saying, like they're saying Arsenal are red right now, which is just an understatement, because we both, had 2 games. We both beat you twice. No, we didn't. beat you in your own backyard.
Yeah.
But you draw against us Red.
It's about even because one
Yeah.
winning.
Even, yeah. But Wembley is red. I'll give you that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you get that after all cup finals, the winning team gets the ring. Yeah, whatever the colour of the ring team goes up. Yeah, that's what. That's
I just love the fact Spurs have played more games than we have, and we still end up with trophies.
Do we have to do Chelsea as like a fan base have to get a bigger stadium like Arsenal to with your fan base?
No, because you've proved you've already proved. You've made 3 big signings here. I mean, who they brought in? Zilic,
Havertz,
over the line.
It's the same way United with Sancho. It's basically over the line, but Bayern Leverkusen still have the Europa League to play in.
Werner.
Yeah.
How he adapts to the Premier League is another thing. I mean, Liverpool wanted him, but they couldn't guarantee him first team football. Me personally, if I was Liverpool, I would have got him. And I like Salah, but I think he's a bit. He's not a team player like Werner. So I would have replaced him on that.
Yeah. But when they Liverpool bought Thiago though.
No, it's not done. They're linked to him. It's not anywhere near to being close.
With Chelsea, that's 3 good signings already. So I don't see the problem with the state about that because they got Roman to fund them anyway. And FFP rules goes out the window now. No one's taking any notice of that with the Man City thing. No one's taking a blind bit of notice. They can he can spend money what he wants without any problems.
Yeah, because I think what's helping is that they've saved, because they've had their transfer ban, they've had to save the money that they can't use, which has meant that they can go and buy Havertz, they can go and buy Timo Werner, Ziyech, and Oblak.
And they still can build on it again because it's not going to stop them, crowd or no crowd. So,
and you have to keep in mind the money we spent is money from last summer that we were supposed to spend. We still haven't got that money for Hazard and things like that. So
has Martha sold yet?
Yeah, which is what I keep. This brings me back to Atletico Madrid. Why I'm saying Oblak is not impossible because Atletico are in financial trouble and they owe us money for Morata and Costa. So it's not impossible for us to get Oblak.
Oblak would be a great sign. I think he's the number 1 keeper in the world for me.
Yeah.
I'll say him or to Stegen, but I'd rather take Oblak.
No, I think
which is why the fact that you're bringing 4 signings, which is why it worries me that the fact that we're struggling to even get Partey.
Yeah, but that's due to the fact. That's due to the.
We don't even know if that's even
going to
happen.
Owners. Yeah, but that's your owners. That has nothing to do with Arsenal. That's your owners.
Well, it's the owners and it's also the people behind people like the recruitment there as well. They're not doing their job properly. The owner, you can't blame the owner. He gave 72 million to get Pepe.
Yeah.
So he can't. I keep hearing about people moaning about the owner. But it was the owner actually got Pepe and he had a fantastic game on Saturday. He's the one that got.
Hold on, was Pepe actually that good?
I thought it was that.
His work rate was incredible.
I was watching him up against.
Incredible.
What you understand is if you watch his work rate throughout the 90 minutes, he was tremendous.
He was up against.
Aubameyang were both helping out.
He was up against Antonio Rudiger, who was a terrible defender.
I agree with you, but you can only go up against what you've got in front of you. True. Yeah. I actually thought before the game that there were 2 bad defences on display. I watched Chelsea. That's one thing they've got to sort out is their back. I'm surprised that they haven't gone more defenders than they've got the signings that they've got. But they do need defenders.
Yeah, what's going on with Chelsea is that we're linked to Jose Gimenez from Atletico Madrid. but he's not world class. We're linked to Declan Rice, who I rate, but him coming in as a centre back, and he's not a centre back.
You can have Mustafi.
No. So
Yeah,
I actually like Mustafi. I think there's a good defender in him.
Yeah, Jan Vertonghen is on a free.
Yeah. But what experience does he bring to a team? He's not a winner.
Listen,
he is.
I'm surprised no one's really going in for him. He's a quality player. I didn't realise he's on a free. I thought he had a year left.
No, they released him or something like that. Yeah, because I remember they extended or they renewed Jaffa Tanganga's deal, and Jose rates him apparently. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's been a good find, isn't he? That young kid, isn't he? The other one they played
back on like Pepe. Then, you see Pepe's performance, you've seen his performances during the season. It brings me to who do you think's the biggest flop of the season?
Pepe.
You still think Pepe?
Pepe. Okay, well, he's got to be up there because the way he was talked about being world class last season, which he wasn't, the way he was supposed to add to this fabulous attack, and
I think you've got
but Emery, but we bought him, but then Emery never wanted him and never played him.
No, but exactly, Emery didn't play him because he clearly wasn't good enough.
But any player that comes in, right? Yeah. Any player in and has to play under 3 managers, and he's come from France to play in an English Premier League, which is a different league altogether. Come on, he's got to adapt to that. I remember Perez coming; it took him 8 or 9 months to adapt when he came from France.
Perez had
but listen,
Perez came in. I remember he was the worst player. He was a terrible season. Next season, he wins PFA Player of the Year and gets injured before the World Cup.
But here's the thing. I'm not saying about Pepe in the future that he won't end up being amazing for you guys. But in this moment in time, he is. Because of the expectations and everything put on him. And you can say Emery and the managers and stuff, but that happens all the time.
This with is when you say biggest flop, all right, it was expensive.
One of them anyway.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is come through 3 different managers, which is not
two different managers.
Well, 3 you could if you're going to call him. So it's a bit of a fucking. No one knew what to do with him. No one was.
3 managers.
So when Arteta's come in, he's taken his time as well. It's hard. It's not
I know, but to not say something if no one knew what to do with him, and he wasn't playing under Emery.
If you ask me who's the biggest flop, I wouldn't have said him. Who would it be?
I think he's up there. I think on a serious one, the biggest flop has to be
Dombele.
Nah, he's been injured.
Dombele, yes, another one. The Spurs player.
He's been injured though.
Right now.
But he's been injured. But they want to get rid. Of him.
Because he's been injured.
Is that an actual? Nah, I'd say Dombele, right? Because why the hell would Jose Mourinho want him gone?
Because he's been injured. Jose doesn't like players that aren't fit.
I'll tell you what. Another one that's another one I think has struggled this year is Maguire.
He hasn't. Manchester United have improved by 30% defensively.
I thought for the first half of the season, I thought he was shocking.
No, he wasn't. What did people expect though? Like he hasn't been shocking. I think he's been really good for Manchester United. He's made them more solid. He's been a leader in their team, in a team that lacks leaders.
I don't know. I suppose you could. I just feel when I've watched him play in the first half of the season, I thought he was for the price tag he was coming for was But that's me. It's all a matter of opinion, isn't it, on that? No, I wouldn't say Pepe was the biggest flop. No, I can't have. I'm honest about Arsenal players. and I'll tell you straight what I think. But I wouldn't say I think he's been a bit unlucky, really. He's been in, out. No one knew where to play him at the start. He had Emery doing one thing. Then
Freddie.
you know, it's not as simple as people think. I think it's a bit hard.
Just how long do you think you can go on for, guys? Just for an instance.
Well, I can take a couple of questions because I've got. I can take a couple more. But I've got my own channel in about. Yeah, but I can take another couple of questions. Yeah.
You got your own chat. Are they streaming tonight? Are they?
9 o'clock, but it's 9 o'clock, so it's not that bad.
If they want me to come on the show, I'll send me a link and I'll come on.
Hey?
If they want me to come on the show, then send me a link. Because Terry emailed me today about doing an awareness show.
Yeah,
next week.
I think we'll do that next week because we've got a few things already. We've got that championship playoff to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got the Man City one on Friday. I've got that.
Yeah, he said next week he would sort that out.
On Thursday, so I will fit it in next week sometime for you, mate. I'll definitely do that for you. Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be absolutely brilliant.
No, definitely. I'll see what I can do with the lineup for tonight, though. I don't know how many people Terry's invited on already. And I'll have a look anyway.
Yeah, have a look, and if he wants us to, then DM me and I'll come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got another question here, Claude. How do you see Arsenal doing next season?
I think a lot will depend on what happens in the next few weeks. I think this is another thing that's really worrying now is this transfer window, because we're going to go right through to October. The players are going to be unsettled. We're going to go start the season. No one knows if he's staying, he's going, or whatever, and it's going to cause more chaos. I do think we need to get 3 top players over the line. I think the party deal hopefully can get sorted. I think we need another central defender if we can, because I think Saliba, if he wants to play 4 at the back, he can't be playing Luiz there next season because that would be dangerous.
No way. Of course.
I think if he gets Partey, he gets Coutinho on loan, or possibly on loan. Who's the other one that they're trying to get? I like William, but I'm not sure if he's got that drive to play for us like he does against Chelsea. I've been bitten too many times on that, where we get players from clubs and they don't perform for us. You know what I'm saying? So that worries me a bit. But I think if we can get 2 of them 3 done, get a good centre half as well, I think we'll be okay. Because we've got some good young players. We've got some good young players coming through. Smith Rowe coming through. Of course, you've seen Saka. Saka's playing really well. He's doing really well. He didn't play on Saturday, but he's still another player that's coming through. Some good young players. So it's a good future. But I still think the Aubameyang getting that over the line as well. That's important that we get that over the line as well. So because you can't replace Aubameyang unless you get 2 midfield players that can score goals, which is not going to happen. You can't replace Aubameyang.
No. If we want to go anywhere, we need to start building this team around Aubameyang, in my opinion.
How old is Aubameyang?
He's come out at 31.
31. Yeah.
You say build a team around him. How long? Because he plays on the left as well. So
yeah,
how?
I feel that with Aubameyang, we've got to make. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's got 3 to 4 years. I mean, look around. I know it's not. We should be comparing it. But Ronaldo, he's about 35 and still playing as good as he was 5 years ago. So
That's true. Yeah, but Ronaldo also moved to the Serie A, to the Italian league, which would make it easier on him on his body.
Yeah,
and Aubameyang plays on the left.
To be honest with you, if I'm looking at Aubameyang,
The thing is that you could build you could build
me-
a team around him, and then if you find in the market, if it gets to a point where he can't do it anymore, and you find in the market someone that's just like him but younger, you can replace him.
He's making a
with-
sacrifice. I think he's making a lot of sacrifice to stay at Arsenal because to be
Yeah.
with him, if I'm in his shoes, forget of being supportive of our Arsenal fan, but I'm ensuring I want ambition. I don't want to win trophies, big trophies, Champions League and Premier League. I'll be leaving.
That's why I wouldn't blame him if he did leave.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's
Can't
what I'm
blame
trying
him. You can't blame him. if he left.
And he's making a big sacrifice to stay at Arsenal. If he stays at Arsenal, for me, that's
I
what he's
think
doing.
what he needs and what's probably stalled it is the fact that he needs to see from the board himself that there's going to be ambition.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether
and also to make sure how to hold an FA Cup properly.
Yeah.
See, that comes from not being used to lifting trophies.
That's leave that for the Spurs fans.
How can I say? If he stays and they don't do anything to raise his ambition, that means he doesn't really care whether he wants to. It looks like he just wants to be the top dog at a club. For me, if I was in his shoes and I wasn't an Arsenal fan, I'd probably be looking. I was probably looking to go, because I don't think we're going to be winning titles in the next 2 years.
No.
2 years of his career.
And that was the
I don't see it in the next 5 years, to be honest.
Like when he first went to Arsenal, I was looking at it thinking, why would you? Where's the ambition there? Is it to like win trophies like within the next few seasons? Because that wasn't going to happen. He should have gone to, because there were teams in Europe that actually needed a striker. He could have gone to Juve, who needed a better striker than Higuain. He could have gone to Inter Milan, or he could have stayed at Dortmund and helped continue to build them to winning the Serie A, the Bundesliga.
Dortmund suffered a lot when they lost him, to be honest.
Yeah, but then
really poor season afterwards.
Yeah, but they've built, and look at them now.
Yeah.
But the only thing I will say, even if he does stay, we do need more. We need goals from other positions as well. That's what we're not getting.
We need some more.
Relying on just play through him all the time, but he's not going to score 60 goals in the season. So we need other players to contribute with goals as well. So we need to play as a team, and other players like midfield players we need midfield players that can score 15 to 20 goals as well if we want to be competing for that big prize. And I don't see that at the moment, and I don't see it for the next couple of years.
That's the thing. If we cut that's the thing, and I feel that the reason we're playing like the way we are is because we have not got that creative side in the midfield.
Not only that,
and unfortunately, the one player that was supposed to create doesn't turn up when he's supposed to. So that's why we need something in that midfield area as well as the defence. So
he just has to play football. That's what Ozil. I'm afraid that's how it is. But
our front line is dangerous. Our front line is dangerous. We just need midfield and defence.
Yeah, but the front line is dangerous. But the only one in our front line that's scoring regularly is Aubameyang. And I'm trying to say, if the other two weigh in with a certain amount of goals, it's different. That's why that's what I'm trying to say. And also, we need to cut the goals we concede down as well. We've conceded far too many goals as well this season. And we're not scoring enough. When you look at how many goals we've scored altogether, about 50 odd goals in the Premier League, and about 23 of them come from Aubameyang.
That was the same with Chelsea last season. 50% of goal contributions, that's goals and assists, came from Hazard last season for Chelsea.
If you look at Chelsea, remember when Chelsea were at their peak, Lampard was scoring 20 goals a season from midfield. But that's what I'm trying to say. That's why they were successful. When Arsenal was successful, you had Lundberg weighing in with 15, Pires were weighing in with 15. You know, Henry with his goals as well, and Bergkamp was putting in. They're all spread around.
Even not that. Even let's go after that. You had the likes of Ramsey, Wilshere, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Cazorla, and Prime Ozil all chipping in with goals in midfield as well.
Yeah, but Ramsey I thought was too injury prone and didn't really get a proper run of goals.
Sure, but my point was you had goal threats everywhere.
Yeah, but but with poor old Jack, I mean, he was too much.
Yeah,
games in and then he was injured, so it was unfortunate because he was very talented. So was Diaby. Diaby was.
I mean, it was actually funny because it's actually funny because we've got 56 points out of the league table this season, 56 goals, and 48 conceded.
Yeah.
And obviously 56 of those goals are from Aubameyang. Whereas you compare to, say, Chelsea, they've got 69 goals to 54. Man United 66, and you say their defence was poor at the start of the season. They've only conceded 36 goals.
Exactly.
Whereas you got Man City and Liverpool. They're still a lot of goals, but I mean we were really bad defensively. That's still a lot of goals. 36. If you want to win titles you've got to be around 25 at least.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I just saw Man City's there. I just saw Man City's there, and they were over 30. Man City and Liverpool were above 30.
How many goals did Liverpool score this season?
It was above 30. I'll get it back up again.
And also, you have to consider Man United. David De Gea isn't the keeper he was.
Yeah, Liverpool 33 goals against, and Man City 35.
Yeah, but how many have they scored?
Right, whereas they scored 85 for Liverpool and 102 for Man City.
85 goals, and that's because all their front three are all knocking goals in. Every single one are knocking an average of 20 goals each, aren't they?
Mm.
Whereas you've got.
I think if Martinelli's back, he'll be chipping in on the left wing and put Aubameyang in the middle.
Martinelli's only scored 3 Premier League goals this season.
Yeah,
we played though. Yeah, I know him.
But this is his first breakout season.
But that is my
using him
but that is my point though. He's so young. You shouldn't rely on him trying to hit like 15, 20 goals next season. And if he doesn't do that, or he goes through a bad patch, then fans get on his back.
No, I'm not going to get on his back.
Not you. I'm not talking about you and Claude specifically, but we do know what fans are like. We do the same. Chelsea. I'm not saying it's just Arsenal fans. Chelsea do the same thing with Tammy Abraham earlier this season, missing a penalty in the Super Cup, and when he went through a bad patch of form. Like, I'm someone who says he's not good enough to be our starting striker, but he is still a good striker. But fans were on his back and stuff like that, and he was getting like racial abuse and the whatnot. Same with Reece James when post lockdown, he went through a bad patch of.
I'm sorry, any fan that wants to think that racism is a way of showing that you're not good enough, right? Ain't a football fan. Get out of here.
But even excluding the racism, my point is putting pressure on, as exceptional as Martinelli is, putting pressure on him to be performing. And if he goes through a bad patch, which he will because he's a kid, it's the fan base, or at least people in the fan base,
coming from because he's had such a good season
as well. Yeah.
But if it was me, I'd give him the chance of being on the left wing and put Aubameyang in the middle, especially if Lacazette's not scoring.
I'm not saying don't give him the chance, but like that's why you being linked to Willian is a good thing, because you can have games and times where you can take Martinelli out and rest him, or just allow him to, kind of go through the motion, develop and not have that pressure on him, and that pressure be on someone like Willian or Aubameyang.
Same with Saka.
Yeah. because Saka's been amazing this season, but he's still a kid. He's going to go through dips in form, particularly if he plays for England instead of Nigeria. And we know what the England media are like when you're put in the squad.
Oh,
The spotlight will be on him, and he will go through a bad patch of form, similar to what happened with Iwobi. That dip in form, and then people will be on his back.
it's like with Sterling. Everyone was
Same with Sterling, yeah.
Sterling until he went to Man City. Anthony asked me and Claude if we get Aaron's Norwich right back, Dunk from Brighton, and a Mitty from Barca, and Partey, should we be aiming for top 4? Well, if we can get them, then I don't see why not. We can challenge.
That'd be a good signing. I don't know whether, because we've got already Bellerin and Maitland Niles there, I'm not sure, and I think I'm a big fan of them too. So I'm not sure whether it would make that signing. It would be good. Who's the other one you said?
Pardon?
Who was the other 2 players you said? Sorry.
I said Aaron's, Dunk, Mitty from Barca, and Partey.
I don't know too much about this. The Barca player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty good defender, actually.
He's got a bit of an injury record. I'd be very
Chelsea were linked to City as well, and the only big thing with him is the injuries. That's why Barca want to get rid of him.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful with Barca. Just want to get rid of players. It's a very tricky. It's a very dodgy business. Who's the other one?
You say that, Claude, but then we bought Sanchez from Barca, and he was brilliant for Arsenal.
But that's only because they've got Neymar.
Yeah, and Sanchez didn't want to stay on the. Barca didn't sell Sanchez. Sanchez didn't want to sit on the bench.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, very rare do you get a player that a great player for very cheap at Barca. I'll tell you that now.
I think we might already have answered this, but our thoughts on the signing on Willian. Big Kelp doesn't think it takes us to the next level, or has the potential to.
It's not about taking you to the. Sorry, Claude, you go.
No, go carry on.
It's not about, like we just said, you have the likes of Martinelli, Saka. If Aubameyang, in my opinion, should be playing down the middle, but he plays that way, whatever. Don't put the pressure on your young players. Let Aubameyang.
There's an experienced option to take their place.
Yeah, exactly. You have experienced players who, for example, sometimes in big games, or if they're going through a bad patch in dip in form, which they will because they're young players, no matter how good they are. You take
them out the firing line.
You can bring Willian can play 5 or 6 games in a row or whatever on the left, and he can go a few games and he can play, and he will. And he is a big game player as well. Don't forget he scored against Spurs this season.
I'm not doubting all that. I'm not doubting that. What I'm trying to say to you, I've seen it before. They don't have the hunger because of they're such a successful time at another Chelsea.
Yeah.
They don't have the same hunger anymore. And sometimes
after watching,
players just come across just to pick up their money, and they don't care.
The only problem that worries me with Willian is given the fact of what's happened with David Luiz this season.
Okay,
and it's just been another example to me of why we don't buy from our rivals. There is a reason why our rivals sold their players to us. And
you can say that, but Arsenal fans are saying that's different with Arteta, and he is a great manager, he will be a great manager. And are you saying that it's Arteta's the type of guy not to get the best out of people, because he has done since he's came in?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is Willian coming in, and maybe Willian comes in for a season or two, and he. I mean, I don't know why he would go to Arsenal to be a backup if he doesn't want to be a backup at Chelsea, but maybe he does have to take a bit more of a senior role, a bit more of a starting role at Arsenal. And maybe that means that Aubameyang goes up front and Lacazette is a bit of a backup to Aubameyang or something. Maybe that's it, and you allow Martinelli and Saka to actually continue to grow and not to constantly rely on them. Maybe that's what he wants to do for a season or two.
Mm.
And also, Willian does have sell-on value as well.
Oh, by the way, Stephen,
31.
Stephen Connor's waiting backstage. You said.
Oh, is he? Is he? I can't see him.
I see. I'm waiting backstage there. I don't know.
Wayne's on here. Yeah, he's with us.
All right.
There's no one else. There's no one else in the room. But he should come under mine. But I can't see him at the minute. Maybe he's at because he had a couple of connection problems earlier, so I'm wondering whether he's got a problem with the connection again.
Someone says we do have experience in the front three. That wasn't my point of not having experience. You do have experience in those players, but allow Martinelli and Saka to grow and develop. That's why Chelsea brought.
But it gives you a different option.
Yeah, I know, but that's why Chelsea bought Werner and Havertz and Ziyech. It allows Callum Hudson-Odoi, allows Tammy Abraham, allows Mason Mount to grow and develop. Because as first team options every single week, yeah, fine, they're obviously not going to be good enough. But for them to continue to grow, develop, and challenge these players and fight for their places and earn their places, they will grow into those type of players, and that's what you want.
I'm just going to get Wayne. What's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this?
Sorry, I'm just like dazzling off there. About
yeah. What's your thoughts about Willian going to Arsenal?
It's like I don't want him to go because I love Willian. He's a great player, but if he wants to follow his fellow countrymen, then he should. But I don't want him to go, but because the chant wouldn't be the same if he joins Arsenal.
No, I would. The chant is that he hates. The chant that is that he hates Tottenham, so it's the same thing. It works.
Yeah, but
we all hate Tottenham, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why it works for Arsenal.
Not that this is a biased channel.
Oh no, it would never be. But no, listen, I love Willian as well, and I don't want him to go. But if he doesn't want to stay to be backup next season, then the best thing to do is to sell him. Same way we did with David Luiz. He was going to be fifth choice. He didn't want to be fifth choice, so he was sold.
Mm. I mean, like I said, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think the first thing is that if Partey's definitely on, get that done, and then build from there. But knowing us, we will not be quick about it. Let's put it that way. This is why when it's such a small window, it makes us even more worried. So
I think we could put from Roby, and why would you use that money then? What's for a party?
Say that again.
What's money from Ike Roby? Why would you use the money for a party then?
I mean, we know our board, and our board has always been a struggle when trying to get players over the line in terms of transfers. I mean, like, you can see the way Chelsea, in comparison to, say, Chelsea, they're getting their signings done rather than just sit around and wait about it. Because the problem is, we've had times before, like, I remember when we were in for Higuain and then Napoli went and bought him because we were too busy haggling. So, yeah, apparently, Jonathan says we don't need Willian. His wages are too high. We have Martinelli, Pepe, Saka, Nelson, and Aubameyang that can play wide.
I don't know money in Willian at all.
I think that's probably because a lot of the probably fan base are worried about what's happening with Ozil. The fact that his wages are so high, we can't get rid of him. That if William turns out to be so poor, whether he may not be or not, but that it might turn out to be like another Ozil situation where we can't get rid of him because of his wages. That's probably where I'm getting the feeling from that one. And another is the problem is Raul getting in bed with agents and giving him money to his friends. That's corruption.
Well, it is.
But the whole board, to be honest, they haven't got a clue what they're doing. They're not football people. So, but there you go. But yeah, I think. Oh, one more question. Which players do you want us to sign this summer? Right, and we're going to do this for both Arsenal and Chelsea. So we'll start with, since they lost on Saturday, we'll start with Chelsea. So Prime, who do you want us to sign this summer?
Chelsea to sign. We need a left back. Left back. Well, Frank really wants Ben Chilwell. I do rate Chilwell, but for that price, it's extortion. Tagliafico would be the better option because he's, I say better, he's cheaper and he's more seasoned in Europe. So it's the thing of, do you want Prem proven as opposed to proven in Europe? We need a centre back. All this being linked to, I love Declan Rice, but not as a centre back. Jose Gimenez.
I thought he didn't play as a centre back. I thought he played as CDM.
He is a CDM, but we're being linked with him to play centre back, and I don't know why it's not going to work. We're being linked to Jose Gimenez as well. There are better options out there. There should be anyway. I really think maybe we get Koulibaly because we need a leader in our defense. Like Kurt Zouma is probably one of our best defenders, but he's someone who
he was brilliant on Saturday. He was brilliant on Saturday.
But he's someone who you need a leader next to make him look better and also to grow and learn. The same with Saliba, you guys are bringing in. It doesn't matter how good he is, if he doesn't have an experience. 19,
and you said about putting pressure. You said about putting pressure on young players. He's only 19.
You need someone to grow and learn. But Zouma is someone who his injuries, because he was when he was bought and he got into the team and he was playing with John Terry and he was learning and growing and developing. Then he got injuries and it was like it was a slow build him coming back for like 2-3 years, and he's back now. But we missed that leadership at the back for him to grow with. In my opinion, I don't think we necessarily need to sign a centre back because the Zouma and Tomori partnership we had earlier this season was working and it was growing. And yes, there's this stat that on average we were conceding like 2 goals a game, but you can tell there was something there. You can tell there was a partnership growing. And if we get a goalkeeper Oblak and we buy a left back, I don't think buying a centre back is a major issue. I think we can get away with Zouma and Tomori for next season, so long as we get Oblak or Ter Stegen and we get a left back.
Okay.
And also, it's a thing of I don't want to spend. It's not about the money, but I don't want to bring in too many players and have it be a thing of it messes up the dynamic a bit, and they have to all come in and settle, which will affect how the team performs, and then that's going to look badly on Frank. And that puts the pressure on him, and then he will potentially get the sack.
Cool. Wayne, what about you?
First, we just need to replace Kepa. I would say, Oblak's the main option. Also, Ben Chilwell, I would take him because England experience, and Frank Lampard's English. He wants to bring the English youth and all that. And a centre back, David Alaba. I don't know. We have been linked with him, but it hasn't been
versatile.
He's going to come through or not. But hopefully, if Havertz signs the deal, that would be good as well. And also, the whole thing about Reece James on Saturday. I know if you was in the Football Terrace on Saturday, someone kept saying that. What about why did we get rid of Lamptey? Give him away to Brighton because he might have done better than Reece James.
I don't think so. We didn't get rid of him. Lamptey went because he wanted first team football and he wasn't getting that. He wouldn't have got it at Chelsea because Reece James was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be a backup because clearly he's good enough to be starting.
Yeah.
The one problem I have is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, because as talented as he is, his injury problem could be the same as Jack Wilshere, where it hinders progress and it affects. Because I remember with Arsenal, Jack Wilshere being one of your best talents on the ball and stuff, and it was a thing of
to be like the next sort of Fabregas.
Yeah, and it was a thing of whenever he was fit, it was a thing of, let's try and get him in the team and stuff. And I remember something like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I remember it was something like Ramsey and Wilshere, they've never been fit at the same time, and there was a period when they were fit, and was trying to get them both into the same team and try and get balance and stuff like that. And it's kind of like the same with Ruben, where he's never been fit for a full season, and that is a worry to me because he's 25 years old now. He's a man, and it's time where either this injury problem stops or we sell him and we move on.
Yeah.
And what about you, Hudson-Odoi, actually, just going on your youth?
Oh, what do I think of him?
Yeah, no, that's just the fact that you're on, obviously, the Football Terrace, and Terry saying about Hudson-Odoi. What's your opinion to that?
Callum Hudson-Odoi is a talented. If you're talking about talent, he's up there with the likes of Sancho, clearly. But he hasn't had. The thing with Sancho is he wasn't getting game time at City. He left, went to Dortmund, and he's doing what he's doing now. Callum last season, the whole thing with Bayern and everything, and was mainly that was just a thing of trying to force game time, and he got game time, and he showed how good he was. And the thing with Chelsea is, at the end of the season, there was like a 2-week period before the Europa League final, and you guys went to Baku early. Chelsea had a pre-season charity game where we had to play our best players because, it's a charity game and it's for promotion and stuff like that. And he got injured and Ruben got injured in that. And Callum got this injury where it should have taken him about a year or so to come back. And he came back really quick and he didn't look the same straight away. And Frank was trying to manage and nurture his injury, nurture him coming back. And then COVID happened and the whole thing of the woman accusing him of sexual assault or whatever, and then that happened kind of near. We were kind of coming back. Teams were coming back into training before the restart happened, and Frank was trying to shield him from the limelight and stuff. And now, since the restart has happened, the only game I kind of remember him playing was against Liverpool. Came off the bench against Liverpool. He got an assist for Pulisic's goal. And he hasn't got much game time, but I think Frank is just trying to manage it and shield him. And I think next season we will see what he's made of. And people also have to remember he's a kid. All these people talk about Mbappe and Greenwood and Saka and Martinelli and everything.
So young.
Yeah, they're great talents and they're showing what they're doing now. That's cool. But not everybody's like that. Mo Salah at Chelsea was terrible. Now he's one of the best players in the world, supposedly. Kevin De Bruyne at Chelsea, talented, but didn't show much for Jose to want to play him. Goes to Wolfsburg, now he's at Man City. So people have to remember that everyone's different, everyone takes time to grow and to develop their game. Didier Drogba, he matured early. He matured at like 25, 26. Thierry Henry, he was at Juventus and he was decent. He comes to Arsenal and we all know what he is now. So people have to kind of remember and like just let kids grow and let kids develop and not put that pressure and expectation on them.
Mm.
Sorry,
Wayne, that's right. Wait, so Arsenal signings. I'll start. Centre back would be great. An experienced centre back. I wouldn't want to leave a learning off David Luiz, to be honest.
Well,
Like I said, that we need someone extra in the midfield. So I don't believe Arteta wants to continue playing through at the back and the way we are. He wants to be a bit more expansive next season. And if someone came in and offered a swap deal for Lacazette with a top quality striker, I'd take it, to be honest.
I don't think you guess.
I like Lacazette, I like his work rate, but in the end, you are a striker and you need to score goals.
Why don't you play David Luiz in midfield? Because David Luiz at his best. No, David Luiz at his best is when he plays in the centre of a back three or he plays in a pivot in midfield.
That's why we play for it at the back.
Yeah, but if you said Arteta, that's not what he wants to play. So why not play David Luiz in midfield?
That's why I get an extra centre back. And if David Luiz wanted to go, then go.
No, but like with Luiz, would you not? Oh, people are talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Why did Lampard pick Pedro over Odoi? Because experience. That's probably why he picked him.
I thought he would have put on Odoi.
Yeah, he should. No, he should have, because the way you guys, with the threat we were having through Pulisic, Odoi would have had the same effect. But I also understand why he didn't do it. Also, Pulisic injuries worry us. Look, it was a muscle pull with Pulisic on in that cup final. I remember when that happened, because in that moment, Pulisic was going through on goal and stuff, and if he doesn't come up with a muscle pull, because in that movement he had a muscle pull and he just he rushed it and took the shot.
Yeah, I can't believe he carried that on.
If he doesn't have a muscle pull there, maybe he ends up, cutting in or whatever and laying it off to someone and we score. So it's one of those things where,
it happens.
It happens in games. Like it could have happened to any one of your players or something, and it just happens.
It actually brings me to a point, is that, and that's, I'll put it to both you Chelsea fans. Does the injury worry you?
What, Pulisic?
Yeah.
In terms of what, him being injury prone?
In terms of maybe if it's a very long-term injury, and he comes back. Maybe not be this. We have had players where they've done their hamstring like that, miss games for months, and then never be the same player again.
No, not necessarily, because I think I haven't heard the extent of his injury yet, but I think even if he is out for a little bit, I want to see what Callum can do with an extended running and with an extended run in the team. So I think that could be maybe a little blessing in disguise. Obviously, you don't want injuries on anyone, but if it means that we can see what Callum can do, I guess I'm kind of okay with it. Which also is another reason why we should do what we can to keep Willian. Because if Pulisic is out for an extended period of time, plus keep in fact that Ziyech has to come in and learn the Premier League, same with Timo Werner. we do need our experienced players that know what the league is like. We need them to stay, like Giroud, like Willian. Pedro's already gone to Roma.
What about you, Wayne?
It does, but I think, yeah, we should try and use Adoy's abilities. Maybe he might do well with like the new like Werner and like Ziyech, and possibly when Havertz actually signs, he might get through balls played into him, and he'd learn how to pass them through. But we'll have to wait until the start of the season. And also, Mason Mount can play on the left as well, which I don't know why, but Lampard seems to start him on the left sometimes.
It's because of his press. It's how effective his press is. That's why he had to play it out there.
Yeah. But
There's actually someone saying that Odoi would not be picked next season ahead of Ziyech, so he's on the bench at best. So if that would be the case, and I was Odoi, and I decided, well, I don't want to be on a bench. I want to be getting the game time that I should have been getting. Would you blame him for leaving?
No, but also you have to keep in mind, one, squad depth. Two, Ziyech needs to learn that, I said Pepe flop of the season, but I mainly said out of jest because it's funny. But you have to remember, like Pepe, he has to come in, he has to learn the league. There's times this season when he hasn't played because he has to learn the league. That has to happen. That's the same thing is going to happen at Ziyech. So who's to say Callum won't play? Also, Pulisic, we don't know the extent of his injury.
You can't deny with also Pepe that he's had moments in the Premier League,
Yeah,
as well as Europa League, where he's had key moments. But
I know, but that's exactly my point. That he's still learning. That even though he's had great moments, he's still learning, and you can tell that he will be a great player in the Prem. The same thing? Well, arguably is going to happen with Ziyech, where he has to learn. He's going to have great moments. He's also going to have bad moments, and he has to learn the Prem.
Okay. Right, so last question for you guys, and this will start first with Chelsea. What are you hoping for next season?
who wants to start?
Who wants to start, Prime or Wayne? What do you want? Who do you want? What's best for Chelsea next season?
Okay, this season people didn't think we'd get top 6 and stuff. I said Chelsea will get top 4. Well, I wanted us to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but it was always with the caveat of who we face in the last 16. We faced Bayern, so that's a myth, and get to a cup final, potentially win it. I was assuming we'd face a City or a Liverpool. We faced Arsenal, we lost, but we got to a cup final anyway. Next season, stay in top 4. We need to improve on our defensive structure, defensive record, because the amount of goals we conceded is shocking. Close the gap, because even if Liverpool get 96 points, Chelsea got 66 points this season. I want that close by 10, 15 minimum. We need to win a trophy next season as well. We need to start that winning mentality with these young players and push on. So we need those 3 things is what I want. So even if we finish 4th next season, but we're on 81 points, we've conceded 38 goals in the Premier League, and we end up winning the FA Cup. That's still a better season than this season, and that's what I want. That progression.
Wayne?
Top 3. Winning the Carabao Cup. I'll say you'll get to the finals of the FA Cup, but you never know.
Not face Arsenal.
Yeah. Champions League depends who we get. I want to see us win the group. But
quarterfinal Champions League. I should have added that quarterfinal Champions League.
Yeah. That's what we should aim for, or semi-finals. But
it depends on that draw.
So, Mr. Fury on Arsenal, what do you think? What do you think? What do you want for next season from Arsenal?
I want a centre back. Gabriel Magalhaes with the centre back and Partey.
Yeah. What do you expect from Arsenal next season?
Oh, top four.
Top four. Is your mic? Is there something wrong with your mic, mate? We're struggling to hear you.
I think
Hear me now.
Yeah, that's better.
Hello, hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you better.
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, I had a speaker.
Yeah.
I think to try best to aim for top four, because I don't want to come 8th again or 10th, and do well in our competitions and win the Europa League as well.
Okay. Claude, what would you want for next season?
Right, I think next season we've got to be in that top four. Also, try to close the gap on the top two as well. Although I don't think we can do that, but if we can try and close it a bit better than what this year, and also have a good run in the Europa League, which gives us another option for the Champions League for the next. Because I think it's important if we want to keep Aubameyang after next season. If he does sign, I think what he'll do, he'll sign extend his contract, but with the option that he's allowed to leave after if we don't qualify for the Champions League. So I'm going to say top four would be progress for me.
For me, should aim for top. Providing obviously that we say that Arteta is back and he gets what he wants. We should aim for top four. I would not be disappointed if we don't get top four, despite the fact because you've got Chelsea improving, Man United improving, on what we already are anyway. So if we don't get top four, then I will not be disappointed. But if we get another FA Cup, I'd take that. But Europa League, I think, will probably be our best bet in terms of getting Champions League next season.
Yeah, Spurs are winning that also.
So yeah, I would have to say I want us, if we are going to get Champions League football for the next season after, we need to win the Europa League.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. There's no
because
reason.
I think the top four is going to be locked out between
not really. If we can get
Chelsea, Man U, Man City, and Liverpool.
If we can get these players in that we're supposed to be getting, I don't see why we can't challenge for top four, because they will add a bit. They will add.
I'm not saying we can't.
And I would say I would expect us to challenge for top four if we do get these players, because there's no excuse. If he gets back and gets these players, there's no excuse not to be in the top four. But then all it's about what you do it goes out the window. So I think top four is a must, really, to be honest with you. But that's one in my opinion.
Well, as Anthony said, you're the voice of reason, sir.
No, not well. Some
Truth.
Voice of
So, what's that, Claude?
Some people say voice of treason, not my voice of reason.
No, voice of reason. Voice of reason.
No.
You know what they say? They always persecute the smartest people in the room. So,
of course,
because they're jealous of them.
No, everyone's got different opinion. When it comes to football, we've all got different opinions.
Exactly.
I respect everyone's opinion.
We're
Apart from Tyler's opinion.
I mean, we're fans. We're not supposed to be experts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Claude and Ty, that's two classic examples. It's like chalk and cheese.
Yeah. One has an idea of what he's talking about. The other one is in cuckoo land.
Oh,
Anyway,
no,
I wouldn't
no,
say,
honestly,
I wouldn't say you're a
honestly,
good man.
we in the box part there was like a foosball machine, right? And to prove his point, he decided he was going to play me on the other side because he couldn't see the fact that he lost to Mo 10-4 on foosball, right? And he said, "Oh, it's because I can't see." So I said, "Fine, I'll play you." Right now, I'm crap, so I lost 10-0. He'd obviously been playing before, right? But it was like I can see, I'm just crap. But he's like, "No, it's because you can't see." I'm like, no.
no.
He is in his own little world at times. I have to admit.
I mean, if you look the way he was dressed yesterday, I thought it was the Winter Olympics going on.
Yeah, I was about to say to him, "How can you wear that in here?" I have a liver condition, which means my body temperature can fluctuate. So I can feel really cold, so I end up wearing jumpers in probably 20 odd degrees. Right, but I'd never wear that.
No.
Like, not all that. No way. I'd bake.
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there.
Well, we have 2 hours here, haven't we?
Wayne,
Yeah, 2 hours, 2 minutes.
your own stuff, on your own channel. Wayne, do you want to shout out anything before you go?
Just follow my Twitter at Wayne_Smith 1998.
Right, cool. Mr. Fury.
I'm okay, man.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll probably speak to you later in the week. Anyway, mate. Right.
Yeah.
Close friend. Prime.
Yeah, my Twitter is there, Latimus Prime X. Also my Twitch as well, Latimus Prime 8. If you type that in to Twitch, you'll see it.
Cool. And Claude, we all know you.
Follow me, call them the Bansters. We do regular stuff. And yeah, follow us, and hope to have some of you maybe on in the future. Yeah, keep
Thank you.
Whenever you want me, Claude, I'll be on. Don't you worry about that.
I'd love to be on, Claude, at any time.
Thank you. Yeah, I've watched you on Football Terrorist, and I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it means a lot coming from you, Claude. Thank you.
Thank you. That's nice.
I'd just like to say,
and that goes for Mr. Fury. If you can get a better connection, though, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my signing is not so good. Yeah.
No, but just saying, you've got to get a better connection with your. I don't know. Are you using the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. Sometimes with these phones, they don't always have a good connection, do they?
Yeah. See me now?
Anyway,
I can hear you well now, but it would be working.
Thank you. Yeah. Go there to where I stand now. Not good, so good.
Yeah.
And Wayne, you're always welcome. I'll contact you as well, Wayne, when you want to come on to the match.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, guys, and supporting it. This channel, I know it's small, but it will do wonders for the channel in the future.
Stephen, you've got to start somewhere, mate.
Yeah,
True.
and hopefully this summer I'll be speaking to the charity. They'll be doing a lot of I'll be doing a lot of short videos for their Hive network, which liver patients can use. And plus, if you want to learn more about liver, you can look at the videos themselves. But as well as that, it's always a football and F1 channel as well. And yeah, it means the world to me for you lot to come on and show your support. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. But yeah, everyone in the comments, like I said, smash the likes up, share this video and content, and yeah, and share the channel as well. So yeah, Other than that, we're going to end it there, and we'll speak to you sometime in the future.
Okay.
Right. Take care.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye, lads. Bye.
Oh, but hang on. We'll just say it. Claude.
What?
Claude, go on. Right, I know you do it for Claude and the Banksters, but go on, you say it.
Oh, God, it's
Do it
time
for
to
me.
go!